Morning students, today we will see the latest question paper that is April, supposed to be in the April, but it is done in the September 2020. Nursing education. The first question is define curriculum and list the principles of curriculum planning. So here I am giving a definition by Florence Nightingale. Curriculum is a systematic arrangement of some total of experience selected as per planned by the school for a defined group of students to attain the aims of particular educational program. So next is the principles of curriculum planning. It has been, I'm just enlisting the principles. You have to write at least one or two sentences of each principles. It has been stated that nations live in the present, on the past for the future. Forward-looking principle, creative principle, totality form, the activity principle, preparation for life, connecting to life, training for leisure time, child-centered curriculum, integration and correlation, comprehensiveness and balance, loyalties, variety and flexibility, connecting to community needs, principle of social life, core common subjects, all-around development of body, mind and spirit, principle of democracy, secularism and socialism, principle of dignity of labor, principle of character building. Next question, what are AV-aids? List the characteristic of AV-aids. Enumerate guidelines for effective use of chalkboard. Audio-visual aids. Audio-visual aids are those sensory objects or images which initiate or stimulate reinforced learning. That is the definition given by Burton. Visual aids are any instructional media that can be seen but not heard. Audio aids are instructional devices that can be heard but not seen. The characteristic of a good teaching aid. They should be meaningful and purposeful. They should be accurate in every aspect. They should be simple, cheap, improvised as far as possible. They should be large enough to properly seen by the students of the old class. They should be up to date, easily portable. They should be according to the mental level of the students. They should be motivating the learners. Enumerate the guidelines for effective use of chalkboard. Don't write everything on the chalkboard. It has been observed that most convenient place to stand towards the left side of the chalkboard, as this allows you to turn from the chalkboard to see the class. Take half stick of a chalk and hold the chalk between thumb and forefinger. Write in sequence as headline and subline. There should be equal gap between the words. Size of each letter should be equal and broad. Gaps between each word should be uniform. The margin, space for top and bottom of the board should be equal. Use more pressure for strong line. Try to keep two-third part of the board when drawing. Never use fingers in place of duster. Use duster from top to bottom and again from top to bottom by lifting rather than rubbing to avoid dust allergy. Write in straight rows starting at the top corner. Avoid abbreviations. Plan ahead what you will write on the chalkboard. Front row of the students to be at least 8 feet away from it. Chalkboard that service is made at least yearly. Board should be clean after each class. Do not talk as you write. Face the group after writing and continue the discussion. Extreme lower corners should not be used. Use colored chalks when needed. Do not stand in front of the board, stand at one side. The third question was types of evaluation. There are mainly two types of evaluation. That is, the first one is based on time and based on manner in which one interprets the result of the learner performance. Based on time, it may be summative or formative. Based on the manner in which one interprets the result of the learner performance is criterion reference and norm reference. The explanations of this you can see in my other videos, that is the evaluation part 2. The fourth question was cognitive domain of educational objectives. The cognitive domain concerned with the knowledge and intellectual abilities. It has 6 levels. Knowledge, that means recalls. Second level is comprehension. Lowest level of understanding, one step beyond simple understanding, as evidenced by learners' ability to make limited use of information in form of translation. For example, classify the liver cirrhosis based on its etiology. Verbs used are identify, justify, select, and indicate. The third one is application. ability to use the learned material as its principles, concepts to new and real situations. The verbs used are predict, select, choose, demonstrate. For example, demonstrate the correct use of pulse oximeter. The fourth one is analysis, ability to break down the information to small component parts which may be elements of information, relationship between elements. For example, distinguish between physiological edema and pathological edema. Synthesis, combine different parts of form in a new world, new solution for waste management. Lastly, evaluation, ability to judge the value of material for a given purpose. Judgment are to be based on definitive criteria. For example, compare and contrast two definitions of education. This is the Bloom taxonomy of cognitive education, means cognitive domain, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The fifth question was clinical teaching method. The clinical teaching method can be either client family centered methods, observations, conferences, bedside clinic, rounds, demonstration, what teaching, what class, what clinic, case study or case presentation, discussion, brainstorming, process recording, laboratory method, health talk, nursing care studies, assignment, exhibition, incident teaching, problem solving method, research projects, and field trips. The sixth question was eclectic philosophy. It is a harmonious combination of all philosophy. Need for eclectic philosophy is no philosophy is complete in itself. So, to find a unity and diversity through eclectic approach, to meet the changing needs and demands of the world and cultivate a change in behavior. Indian philosophers always recognize the value of adjustment in the midst of conflicting ideologies. There is a diversity of thinking in all aspects of human culture and civilization. So, uniform tendency or holistic approach is needed for Indian culture and civilization. Abilities and talents of the youth are properly channelized and utilized. To promote good citizenship, equality of opportunity, universality in education, eclectic tendency is essential. The areas of agreement or eclectic tendency at work in education include idealism stress the spirituality and absolute values. Naturalism emphasizes the matter in man. Pragmatism is regarded as sort of compromise between these two. So we have to have a we can excrete the main points from each philosophy. So aims of education according to eclectic philosophy include education should give a child a command of the basic process of learning. The child should become an efficient member of society. The development of moral character, promotion of a good health, skillful training to prepare the person to take his place in life. To be able to think, reason, and adapt himself to the environment. The interest and motivation of the child has to be improved. The child should be educated in favorable congenial environment. The seventh question was purpose of demonstration method. So observational skill is an important in assessing patient's condition. So written demonstration helps the teacher to evaluate the knowledge and skills acquired by the student. It demands adequate preparation from the side of the nurse educator and immediate feedback from the students. Exploring scientific principles underlying the steps in demonstration fosters critical thinking. It helps to improve the skill of the students, provide vicarious learning experience. Visual representation helps to memorize the content. Observational skill will be improves the confidence level of the students. The eighth question was types of learning. It may be either visual learning, auditory learning, reading or writing, or kinesthetic learning. Visual learn best when the information is presented, usually through the images or graph. Auditory learn best through the spoken words and reading and writing. And kinesthetic means learn best when they interact with their learning environment. Role of a chairperson in seminar. The chairperson should possess in-depth knowledge regarding the topic. Seminar begins with the introductory talk, importance of the topic to the current life situation. After that, he invites a speaker in order. When one speaker completes the speech, the chairperson gives a brief summary. Once all speakers finish the speech, the chairperson opens the discussion section by inviting the participants to come up with doubts. The 10th question was principles of discipline, harmony with total goals of education, based on and controlled by love, not by fear, positive and should be constructive, ensure equality to justice for all, respect for individual rights and dignity and humanitarian treatment for the same, means for successful implementation of the educational program. Disciplinary policies and procedures should be primarily preventive, secondarily corrective and never retributive. Situation-specific disciplinary actions followed by counseling. It is something which the teacher helps the children to attain, not something the teacher maintains. Discipline in personal make talk in private. Relate the act of misconduct to the act of correction. Avoid collective punishment. It can provoke unnecessary resentment. Never allow disciplinary procedures to interfere with education opportunities. Aims of nursing education. Nursing manpower development, that is production of well qualified and competent professional nurses. It should have sufficient theory content and practical experience. Development of leadership abilities like decision making, policy making. Personality development like self-awareness, self-direction and self-motivation. Professional development. Nursing education should train nurses in participation in nursing activities. Next question was the difference between checklist and rating scale. A checklist is a simple instrument consisting prepare a list of expected items of performance or attributes which are checked by an evaluator for a presence or absence. Checklists are constructed by breaking a performance or a quality of a product which specify the presence or absence. Observe one respondent at a time. Clearly specify the characteristic of a behavior to the observer. Use only carefully prepared checklists to avoid more complex traits. The observer should train how to observe, how to record the observed behavior, and use checklists only when you are interested in calculating particular characteristics. Rating scale is a term used to express opinion or judgment regarding some performance of a person, object, situation, and character. Rating scale is an important technique of evaluation. Rating is the assessment of person by another person. This is of the oldest method of personality assessment. There are certain general approaches to assess the personality like holistic or overall approach, projective test approach, and trait approach. Characteristic of a rating scale includes the judgments about attributes of one person by another person. These are most commonly used to carry out in structured observation. These are generally developed to make qualitative judgment about qualitative attributes, provide more flexibility to judge the level of performance. Difference between guidance and counseling. Guidance is a broader and comprehensive term. Guidance is more external, helps the person to understand alternative solutions available to him and makes him understand his personality and choose the right solution. Guidance is mainly preventive and developmental. But counseling is in-depth and narrow. Counseling helps the people to understand themselves and is an inward analysis. Alternative solutions are proposed to help understand the problem at hand. Counseling is a remedial as well as a preventive and developmental. Content validity and construct validity. Construct is a non-observable trait such as intelligence which explains behavior, the degree to which the test. Content validity, the degree to which the test measures the intended content area. The degree to which items in the measurement scale represent all aspects of the variable being measured. Content validity is not evaluated numerically. It is judged by the researcher. Construct validity, to which the degree to which measurement instrument measures the theoretical constructs that it has intended to measure. Construct validity can be carried out through the factor analysis. Measurement and evaluation. Measurement is simply referred as a process assigning numbers or symbols to an object by or for characterizing things according to set rules. It is used to characterize and or quantify the variables. It helps to quantify individuals' achievement, personality, attitude, habits, and skills. It involves quantification of observable phenomena and it is performed on the physical world by observer. Here the information collected about the characteristic and attributes of these things can be determined and differentiated. Evaluation Is a process that includes series of steps is establishing the objective, classify the objective, defining the objective, selecting the indicators and comparing data with the objective. It is concerned with making judgments on the worth or value of performance to answer the question. It is also a process of obtaining, analyzing and interpreting information to determine the extent to which the students achieve the instructional objective. It also considers the qualitative aspect of determining outcome of learning. Next question was differentiation between linear programmed instruction and branch programmed instruction. Linear programming, it is by Professor B.F. Skinner, is the exponent of this type of programming. A creature can be guided to desired behavior by means of a series of carefully structured small steps on the condition that each correct step is immediately reinforced by some kind of reward or favorable experience. It was known as linear because the learner takes the same path to the instruction. The branching program, in this system, the student is given a problem and a number of answers. Out of these, one answer is correct. When the student selects an answer, he is directed to the specific frame. This frame shows him if his answer is wrong and why it is wrong. Then the frame takes him to the first question so that the answer may be given again, or it will direct him to a sub-program and he will get him to set basic knowledge for answering the questions. Unless the student gives the correct answer, he cannot proceed to the next frame. Thank you for listening.